Hi everyone, how are you doing? I'm happy to have you all here from around the world. If you're new, welcome to the family. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Last night, President Putin shocked the world with a surprising statement and an invitation that turned everything upside down. He came out and said he wants to hold direct talks with Ukraine, not through intermediaries, and proposed holding them in Istanbul.
Peace be upon you all. I hope you're doing well. So here's what happened. Last night, I said I'm ready for direct negotiations with Ukraine, meaning my delegation would meet directly with Ukrainian officials in Istanbul, Turkey. I even set a specific date. Thursday, May 15th. That's not something vague or undecided. I gave a clear time and location, even mentioning Taksim Square in Istanbul. Basically, I made it sound very serious. These talks should be direct, without any European mediation. I don't want the West coaching Ukraine before the meetings, just Russia and Ukraine at the table. This move changed the game. It looked like a reaction to what the West has been doing lately.
Zelensky responded saying he's open to talks, but only under certain conditions. Let's break this down. What exactly did Putin and Zelensky say? Is this a serious move from Russia or just a tactic? And could it be a move from the West instead? But first, let's look at how Zelensky responded.
It was a positive step that Russia was thinking about ending the war, but Ukraine would agree to talks only if there's a ceasefire starting May 12th, which is basically tomorrow.
Now here's the issue. The West had already demanded a ceasefire from Russia by May 12th, or else they'd impose major sanctions. But Putin said yesterday there won't be a ceasefire. What's Putin's point of view?
I want talks with no preconditions and refuse the idea of a ceasefire. Previous ceasefires didn't work. I mentioned 3 past truces, one to stop attacks on infrastructure, another during Easter, and a third during Victory Day. All of them were broken. Both sides kept blaming each other for violations. We need to address the core issue, not just patch things up with short-term truces.
Zelensky still insisted, let's have a 1-month ceasefire to start the process. Now let's pause here. Russia already tried ceasefires and each time they were violated. So this time Putin doesn't want to waste time. He wants to go straight to resolving the issue.
What about French President Emmanuel Macron? He said Putin's move seems positive, but looks like he's just trying to buy time. Yesterday, a group of Western leaders, Macron from France, Starmer from the UK, Scholz from Germany, and Donald Tusk from Poland, all gathered and warned that if Russia doesn't agree to a ceasefire by May 12th, they would impose massive sanctions. So clearly, this move from Putin came right after that pressure.
As for Turkey, President Erdogan's office said they welcomed the talks. A spokesperson said Erdogan spoke directly with Putin and that Turkey will do its best to make sure these talks lead to positive outcomes. So now we're seeing a clash of priorities. Putin's priority is to sit down and get serious about a solution, even while the fighting continues. He says past ceasefires failed, so let's not waste time. Ukraine's priority is the opposite. Stop the fighting first, then talk. Putin also reminded everyone that in April 2022, Russia and Ukraine actually sat down for talks in Turkey and almost signed a document. That agreement included Ukraine staying out of NATO security guarantees from 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, but Ukraine rejected it. To be clear, I'm not defending Putin, but Russia also has its own set of demands. So what are Russia's main conditions now? Ukraine must not join NATO and should remain neutral. Ukraine can join the EU, but must stay non-aligned militarily. The US must officially recognize the territories Russia currently controls as Russian territory. Ukraine must withdraw its forces from the areas Russia has taken. So yeah, the situation is complex. Both Russia and Ukraine and the West have completely different views on how to move forward. And that's where things stand. For now. About the war. The war is still going on, and things escalated a lot last night. Just as the truce was supposed to end at midnight, Russia launched a major attack. The moment the clock struck 12, Russia sent out a wave of drones. 108 drones targeted Kyiv and other areas across Ukraine. Ukraine announced that it managed to shoot down 62 of them, but the rest hit various infrastructure sites. One civilian was reported injured. On the battlefield, Russia claimed it had neutralized over 1,160 Ukrainian soldiers. So, yeah, the war is still active. And if we look at the situation on the ground right now, it's as if there were no peace talks happening at all. Honestly, this is a crossroads moment, a situation we've never seen in the 3 years of the Russia-Ukraine war. From my humble perspective, we've never been this close to either real negotiations or this level of complexity. Russia is now saying, we're ready to end it. Just sit at the table with us and agree on a few key points. Meanwhile, the West is threatening, if you don't call a ceasefire by tomorrow, we're hitting you with heavy sanctions. So we're facing two options here, and we've never been in this position before. Either this really is the beginning of the end of the war, things calm down, and we're finally done with this exhausting cycle that's been dragging on for 3 years. Or things are about to get much worse, possibly way more intense. And this could bring Trump back into the picture, like we're suddenly back in WWE days, with the West backing him up in a whole new round of pressure, making everything even more complicated. That's what's happening right now. The coming period is going to be super sensitive, I'm telling you. Now you might ask, so what do you think, Mohammed? What's your prediction? Honestly, I think the West, especially Europe, is going to pressure Zelensky hard. Zelensky won't make a decision on his own. Right now, America is kind of stepping back a bit. Yes, the US Secretary of State is involved, but America isn't taking the lead the way Europe is. Europe is backing Zelensky openly. The US, on the other hand, is watching from the sidelines. They don't love Russia, of course, but they've got their own interests to look after. The Americans want access to Ukraine's natural resources, especially critical minerals, without the headache of war or conflict. And since Zelensky already signed a massive investment deal worth hundreds of billions, the US is keen on sending in their companies to cash in. But they also don't want to spark a full-on clash with Russia. And they don't want to let Russia gain too much control either. So yeah, the situation right now is all about interests. It's a high-stakes game, a battle of power and pressure. And the next few days, maybe even the next few hours, will be crucial. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. At S News, we're committed to bringing you traditional balance